Friends, esteemed guests, graduates, lend me your ears. Before I start, I just want to specifically thank my mom, dad, and my sister Raya. Now, before I begin, I must first acknowledge that while I have written many speeches during my time in high school, this is by far the most difficult. Because in this speech, I am tasked with putting the number 2015 into words. So without further ado, I want to first congratulate the graduating class of 2015 on reaching this significant milestone. When I first started writing this speech, I realized that writer's block was starting to set in, and I needed some inspiration to push on. Therefore, I logged into Facebook, and I decided to check my profile. It showed me a timeline over on the side from 2011 to 2015. I clicked on 2011, and from there on, reminded myself of how I came to stand here in front of you today. In the late summer of 2011, we, the class of 2015, wandered onto Mira Loma's campus, wide-eyed and unassuming, as all freshmen typically do. We made it through our first day of high school. No one had been canned, though plenty of us had found ourselves lost. Then another day. And before you know it, 1 week had gone by. And then a month. Not long after, we were putting together a Peter Pan float for our first homecoming. And only a few months later, we were finding Frosh as we introduced ourselves to Sportsorama. And what an experience that was. Then we said goodbye to the class of 2012 as they walked along this very stage. As sophomores, we knew what we were doing, or at least we thought we did. That year, we made Batman proud with another float and loosened a mighty roar as Simba sophomores in SAR.
Woo.
Then we said goodbye to the class of 2013. We were finally upperclassmen, juniors who could walk around campus with swagger. We built a float for the Egyptian god Ra and showed everyone that you don't find a class like us every dynasty, as Spa 15 took stage in SAR. Then we said goodbye to the class of 2014, senior year. We took to campus acknowledging the notion that this was the year that everyone always talked about. This year we created our best float yet with Super Mario and laid a stamp on our legacy with a resounding victory in SAR as the seniors in Wonderland went bonkers. And now here we are, graduation. Looking back on the past 4 years, that's how we do, guys. Yet while our legacy is what we leave for future generations, what we take with ourselves are the memories. Think about the number of moments and memories we created in 4 years in Mira Loma. Every float we built, every SAR we participated in, and everything in between. At times it's overwhelming when you get to the end and you reflect on all of it. You think to yourself, did all that really happen? I mean, where did the time go? This year and the past 4 years. It's hard to believe that we have finally come to the end because you always think you have time until you don't. And now our time is up. Our work here is done. The sad thing is knowing that we can't make any more memories as students at Mira Loma, and it speaks to the enormous value of this school. I don't think I'll quite realize it until the fall when it's time to start school again. I'm going to wake up in the morning ready for school, and I'll realize that I'm not coming back to Mira Loma. That's when I'll really miss this place. That's when I'll truly understand how special Mira Loma is, and how special my time here was. I know that because every time I think about life away from Mira Loma, I cry a little bit on the inside. The fact that leaving Mira Loma makes us sad only proves that the time we spent in Mira Loma was valuable. We put so much into these past 4 years, and this school has given us so much back. This is my home away from home, and the people I spent my 4 years with here are my family away from home. During our 4 years, other classes came and went. In the end, we realized that all we ever really had was each other, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to spend 4 years with. Class of 2015, you are the most amazing group of people I have ever met. So vastly talented and dedicated and passionate in the things you do. I can't tell you the number of times I think to myself how lucky I am to count myself among the members of the class of 2015 and to call you my peers. If your class is your family away from home, then I can happily say I have the best family. Not just in terms of the accolades and the achievements, but the personalities. Each person is unique, and over the years we have learned to love each other for it. We have grown on each other. If you haven't noticed, I really love my class, and they have provided me every reason to feel that way. The memories we have made will last a lifetime. 2015, thank you. While we've reached the end of our road, it's time to look to the future. We have been on this journey since first grade. Some of us have known each other for only a few years. Others have known each other since before we can remember. As sad as it is to say, the truth is that after today, many of us will never see each other again. This is probably the last time we will all be here in one place together. So what's next? We all have our own ambitions, we have different plans, and now we go in different directions. But seeing as this is our last time together as a class, I want everyone to hold your neighbor's hand. Look at the people sitting next to you. Realize this, that you may be thousands of miles away from each other at times. You won't be able to hold each other's hands. But if ever you are in need, you can count on them to lend you a hand, because of the simple fact that they are your friends. When you go out into the world, remember to use your time wisely. Make sure that you do what you want to do, and do a lot of memorable things. If there's one thing I've learned during high school, is to do memorable things, because those are the things that you remember. And the more you remember, the more valuable your time is. It's as simple as deciding to do what you want to do. For some of us, we still don't know what that is. The pursuit can be maddening, but also rewarding. I have no doubt that down the line, we will all be on our way to fulfilling our own definitions of success. You know, just before SAR this year, I gave a speech about how we have to fight for every inch. As Al Pacino once said, life's a game of inches. Just like high school, between now and the end of our lives, we are fighting a battle against time, and no matter what, we will lose. But it's the journey that counts, not the ending. And I implore each and every one of you to fight for every inch, because if you don't, you'll find yourself saying things like, I would've, I could've, and I should've. And if life gets you down, Hakuna Matata. Just keep swimming, because eventually you'll bring honor to us all, and then we can go bonkers. You know, at some point in life, you'll be driving your kids to soccer practice in a minivan, and along the way, you'll take a turn down memory lane, and you'll remember Mira Loma. You'll remember the friends, the teachers, the campus, the dances, SAR, and you'll realize how it's made you who you are. I mean, just take a moment to think how different your life would be right now if you went to, say, El Camino instead of Mira Loma. Mira Loma is a part of us. It has impacted all of us in some way or another, and it is for that reason that we will always be mighty matadors. So I'm sitting in front of my laptop, staring at my Facebook wall. I'm looking at a picture of senior sunrise. I log out of Facebook, and all I'm left with is my desktop background. It reads as follows. This is your life. Do what you love and do it often. Life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. So go out and start creating. Life is short. Live your dream and share your passion. And then finally, I close my laptop and bring an end to this chapter of life. Mira Loma, class of 2015, my heart goes out to you. Thank you so very, very much for everything. It was an honor and a pleasure. And one last thing, if anyone ever asks you, how do we do? The answer is always, that's how we do. You guys are awesome, I love you. Thank you so much.
Class of 2015. Anyone will tell you that high school is memorable. But when I think back to Mira Loma, there's one moment that I know I will never forget. Sitting at the front of Mr. K's biology class, I watched in complete awe as Bob began to pull himself across the piles of paper and the forgotten clutter of a teacher's desk. Unrelenting, he placed one claw in front of the other And then finally, with victory in sight, Bob threw himself onto the top of the overhead projector. In case you don't know, Bob was an iguana. In fact, he was the well-loved, sometimes well-hated iguana of Mr. K's classroom. However, Bob was far from your average iguana. The average iguana does not climb onto projector screens just to sunbathe in the light. And the average iguana usually does not inspire students to write graduation speeches. No, Bob was an extraordinary iguana. From his daily consumption of lettuce to his sporadic attacks on Mr. K, Bob held a quiet, almost human determination to achieve what he found important in life. Classmates, I know right now you are thinking to yourself, he wants me to take advice from an iguana on my graduation day? Yeah, whoa day. Nonetheless, hear me out, and I will share with you what we can learn from Bob. The novelist Hermann Hesse wrote, "Only the ideas we actually live have any value." Certainly we have our ideas, social change, technological innovation, all of the other grandeurs that we probably compose for our college apps. We have the ideas of our families, the ideas of our friends, but which ideas will we actually live? Class of 2015, think about it. Until now, our lives have been defined, first by elementary school, then by middle school, and today we graduate from high school. Suddenly our day is no longer shaped by a regimented schedule and the high-pitched blare of a school bell. On one hand, this freedom is exciting. It is a taste of independence and an optimistic glance of a bright future. On the other hand, finishing high school is unsettling. Each one of us is facing 1 million open doors, 1 million possibilities, wondering which ones to choose. Perhaps the unnerving reality of graduating is the knowledge that today we start along a new one-way path toward becoming our future selves. In many ways, this is a terrifying moment. Be calm, don't panic, because this is where Bob comes in. No, this speech is not about living the iguana lifestyle. Instead, think about how Bob might have viewed his own simple lifestyle, free from any expectations but his own. His random, even bizarre acts during class seem strange to us, but Bob acted with intent and pursued what he found to be meaningful. What we must do then is to follow Bob's example by choosing pursuits that hold personal meaning, those aspects of life about which we are passionate. This is Mira Loma. We are used to following our passions. It is no coincidence that we managed to win almost every competition we can find. On the first day of freshman year, Mr. Dreicher asked my English class, "Why did you decide to go to Mira Loma?" I now know that what makes Mira Loma great is far more than our academic programs or even our science teams. Mira Loma is unique because of the enthusiasm behind the people who are part of everyday life at school. I think of the dedication of my teachers, the energetic involvement of students, and the excitement behind Sportsorama when I say that the spirit of Bob was in many ways the spirit of Mira Loma. Perhaps then, Bob was more than an iguana. Perhaps Bob represented everything that made Mira Loma, Mira Loma.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, we may be excited to have survived the one-night effort known as the extended essay. And many of us are glad to leave behind the horrors of Zangle. Seriously, whose idea was it to give parents online access to our grades? And yet, despite all the small frustrations of high school, it's hard to realize that all of those moments with friends, coaches, teachers, reptiles are now behind us. Going into the future, as we follow our individual paths, we will retain our class's shared experiences as a foundation for whatever path we each choose to pursue. The passion behind Mira Loma is truly the passion of its students, and we will each carry the spirit of Bob from the time that we spent together. These 4 years passed faster than any one of us could have imagined, but the next years of our life will be equally rapid. As Robin Williams said in the movie Dead Poets Society, "Carpe diem, seize the day, make your lives extraordinary." I will miss Bob, but I know that he seized the day with all 20 of his claws. He chewed his lettuce with decision and never looked back. So my fellow graduates, remember Bob, remember high school, but at the same time, challenge yourself. Go forward with Bob's determination and resolve. Climb onto the projector screen, class of 2015. You can do it. Thank you.